The Mineworkers Union NUM says Eskom CEO Ruyter has failed to turn things around at the power utility, as he said he would have done so by 18 months. Union members marched to Eskom's office at Megawatt Park in Johannesburg to the head office in Cape Town earlier today. The union is calling for the removal of Ruyter while protesting the unbundling of the utility and possible jobs cuts which may follow. Let's speak to National Union of Mineworkers Acting Secretary General William Mabapa now. Mr. William, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We understand that you've embarked on this protest action against, among others, the privatisation of Eskom. As far as we know, when it comes to the unbundling, it's not an intention to privatise, but the minister has always spoken of private sector participation in energy as an alternative. Just talk to us about what you have noted as a start of some sort of privatisation.
Yeah, I think from the beginning you are saying that they are talking about partnership with private. Yes, it will start with a partnership with private, but that private will end up having more shareholding than the Eskom. So I'm sure that one, the answer is already there. I think we have got a question and an answer sheet that that is just going to be privatization. Because obviously, if other investors want to invest, they will expect to be the majority shareholders in any organization that they've invested. So we may take it very light today, but one day you will then tell us that we saw this thing coming. So there is no way that private entities, wherever they go and when they invest, they want to take over.
All right. So this is a precursor to the privatization. And then on the other front, you're also calling for the disbandment of the board and the resignation of course, the CEO and COO. I know the current CEO has put forward an argument that speaks of a need for continuity, that you cannot constantly have this stop-start at the power utility. It really does more of a disservice than anything else. What's your view of that?
I think the CEO must just deliver. And I'm sure from NUM, when he comes and say, give me 18 months, you must know we are the majority union there. We gave him that 18 months that he wanted. We never made noise before 18 months. I'm sure last year and every time, you never had NUM saying anything about the Ruyter leaving. We gave him a benefit of doubt. We never commented when he comes. But our assessment is becoming very clear that wherever he comes, he really never assisted any company that he comes from. He comes from Sasol, he never assisted Sasol. He comes from Nampek, he never assisted Nampek. Now, how will he make a magic when he comes to Eskom? So to us, we think that the interest of Eskom is above his personal interest. If yes, he can say to us that he don't want to be part of the unemployment. Ours is that he has been given a time, and what he's shown us is a failure. So I'm sure you have observed that there is a lot of unemployment in this country. And what caused unemployment is both Eskom and the pandemic, COVID-19. So Eskom and the COVID-19, they participated the same. Their contribution is the same. So Eskom is a pandemic, as we speak. It is above the crisis. We are raising it very sharply that the Eskom is a public entity. It's not somebody's puzzle shop. So if you want to test a business, I'm sure he has got money. Let him go and run his own business and convince us that he can be the best CEO of his own company. So people are running their own businesses like Motsepe and others. So if he is a good person of a business, let him go and run his own business and leave that entity. In 2002, Eskom was the best electricity supplier in the world. Now today, where is it? And then every time somebody comes, give me time. We gave them time, many of them. But I will take it that our conclusion is that the board of Eskom does not assist Eskom. Is assisting Eskom to collapse it. Now, when a person collapses, assist a company to collapse, I don't think that there is a value there.
All right. And then now talk to me about your frustrations around the infamous just transition to renewable energy, because from where I'm standing, I would say that the minister has been waging a war in favor of coal miners at this point. For the longest time, we know of the coal project that is to start around new coal technology rather. So are you really still unimpressed with the minister at this point and the just transition they speak of?
I think we are talking the same language with the minister. So from our side, we as the NUM, we strongly believe that the minister is supporting the process that we talk about. So you see, the reality of the matter is that we are not naive to reality. We are not saying that there must not be just transition, but we are saying when this just transition come, let us sit down, let us plan, let us know that if you have got 500 employees in a particular power station, Henrina, now what do we do with those 500 employees to get alternative jobs? And what do we do with a coal mine that is supplying that power station with 2,000 employees? Now, if we can discuss those issues, because ours is that let us have a discussion over this transition. We don't want to theorize it. We want to practicalize it and say, this is exactly how this just transition is going to work. So we support the minister and we think that we are talking the same language with the minister. We can't be naive and go as if we must go and be influenced by countries that doesn't have coal and then dream and wake up during 12 o'clock and say, yeah, tomorrow there can't be coal mines. We can't. And we are observant that there is technology that can be applied that can mitigate the emissions that are there. Our starting point is we can't just abandon a lot of coal that we have. What we need to do is to get the technology that we can mine this coal, that we can use this coal in the power stations that we have. What we want is to revamp the power stations with the new technology, the mining with the technology. But at the same time, we embrace the issue that the just transition project must start so that by the time everybody may be saying that we have absorbed everybody from the power stations, we have absorbed everybody from the coal mines. Now we think that the just transition project has come to fruition, and then we don't have a problem. But where we are seated now, we think that South Africa is not a big emitter. Those who are big emitters, nobody talks about them. All developed countries, they emit more than 5%. South Africa is emitting 1%. No one is talking about them. No one is taking money to them because they are the big giants. So you can't tell them anything. Now, if we can't control our own country and always we are going to be dictated by other countries as to how we must manage our affair, we must come to conclusion that we are indeed not went to 1994 and change the government to our own advantage. We are still ruled by the same people that were coming from Holland, who came with Jan van Riebeeck. So we are still ruled by those people. That's why they can sit down, not in South Africa, make an agenda of South Africa. And in South Africa, we must dance. Mm-hmm.